So you guys seen the clip of JaKayla and her mother reuniting and JaKayla meeting her mom for the first time in her adult life. It was a very awkward encounter at first, but after that, JaKayla just kind of let everything go. You know, it's like a big weight was lifted off of her, seeing the person that gave birth to her and seeing how she looks so much like her mother. It's kind of scary in a sense. JaKayla thought that she would have some type of resentment, but just seeing her mother and then for her mother to, you know, reach out and just be so open to, you know, looking at her new, you know, growing child in her belly, JaKayla can't help but to feel some type of connection. So Brianna thought that it would be a good idea for JaKayla to go to a spa. And so since today is technically Mother's Day in the Sims world, Brianna wanted to surprise JaKayla with a massage, and she even wants them to do a yoga together because Brianna is more so on the side of, you know, healthy living and, you know, just having inner peace within yourself. So she wanted to meet up with her daughter at a peaceful place where they could talk amongst one another in a calm setting. So she thought that this would be the best bet. And, you know, yeah, they could have met up at a restaurant or in a park or something like that, but she wanted to really give them something to do and give them something to share together. They are changing into their workout clothes and there's going to be a yoga class going on. It's Mother's Day, as you can see up here, and I made this little holiday. It looks like Brianna, she actually ignores this tradition because she has the kleptomaniac trait. So back in her day, she used to do a lot of stealing and stuff like that. So I forgot she still has that trait, but she's going to be doing that anyway. And the other one is to actually give flowers. And so JaKayla has already completed her thankful spirit. You might also see that Brianna looks like she's in this household with JaKayla, but actually I had to add Brianna to the household because I want to be able to really interact with JaKayla and Brianna, but really and truly Brianna is not a part of JaKayla's household. This is just for right now. So they are definitely doing, you know, their own thing. Since JaKayla is pregnant, technically she could not join the actual class with them, but you know, that's fine. Mother and daughter are over here doing their own thing and they are really enjoying themselves. JaKayla is like, you know what, this whole yoga thing is really not that bad. Like JaKayla's like, man, you know what, I should have been doing this a long time ago. Considering girl, considering all of the things that have been going on in her life and, you know, all the stress she's been under, this yoga makes her feel really good, makes her mind feel at ease. You know, she's struggling a little bit. Her and mom are kind of struggling a little bit, you know. Maybe it's because they're both kind of nervous or whatnot. It's okay. They are doing a good job. And so they're just talking amongst one another while they're stretching. And, you know, JaKayla's like, well, you know, at first I wasn't going to reach out to you. And, you know, because I don't know you. I don't know who you are. And Brianna's like, I understand, you know, me and you, we have a lot to catch up on, a whole lot to catch up on. But, you know, Brianna really appreciates JaKayla for reaching out to her. All right, y'all. So JaKayla just did not want to cooperate with me. So I just had them to come over here and get their foot massages. These two are just kind of chatting it up. And really, at this point right now, JaKayla, even though her and her mom are kind of bonding a little bit, JaKayla still wants to know what happened. Why did her mother give her away to her cousin Jamie? And why didn't she ever come back to, you know, and try to find her or come back? Like, what happened in between all of these years? And why she never just reached out to her at all. Brianna was kind of explaining to JaKayla like it was a difficult situation. You know, she had JaKayla very young, and you know, Jamie was, you know, she was established, she was more mature than Brianna, and of course she was much older than Brianna. JaKayla's just like, well, I mean, I understand that, but in between time, you know, it seems like you got your life together now. Why haven't you tried to reach out to me since then? And so Brianna was trying to explain to her, like, baby, it was just not that easy. Brianna felt like JaKayla had everything that she needed, and Brianna did not want to come intrude in her life and come back into her life and just turn her world upside down or anything like that, because she knew that she was well taken care of. Brianna's like, babe, I gave up my rights. You know, I gave up my rights when I was little. It's just a lot of things that happened in her childhood. And so JaKayla's like, well, I want to know exactly what happened in your childhood or up, you know, after you gave birth to me. I want to know what happened. JaKayla's like, who is my father? Can you tell me that? And Brianna's like, that's a whole nother story that we might need to discuss over some dinner. So JaKayla and her mom decided to stop by and get something to eat. It is actually really late. It took them quite a while to come over here because they had to go, you know, get freshened up and come back and clean up and, you know, and get their hair done and do their hair and put on some clothes. Brianna wanted to really just show JaKayla how much she appreciates her. She wants to show her how proud she is of her, of, you know, finishing school, going to school, and now she's, you know, about to be a mother herself. And so she just wants to sit down and have a heart-to-heart talk with her daughter. She's not looking for JaKayla to forgive her or anything like that, but she just wants to start by trying to develop a friendship with her daughter. And so far, JaKayla really doesn't know how to feel, you know, with her mom right now. She's just like, you know, I don't know who this woman really is. I don't know who she is. I don't know where she came from. All I know is Jamie, and all I know is this woman abandoned me. That's all I know. Brianna wants to open up all the doors and put all the cards on the table. Let her know there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't want to contact you and let you know that, hey, I love you, and I want us to have a relationship. There is not a day that went by that I didn't think about that. But I knew that you had a lot going on in your life. As a matter of fact, I used to stalk you from time to time on Facebook. You know, you didn't know that, but I did. I used to stalk you on Facebook, and I see that, you know, you were growing up. You were in, you know, debate classes and stuff when you were in high school. You were an A student. I used to see Jamie posting pictures about you and, you know, when you were growing up, and it just, oh my gosh, you know, I just hate the fact that I missed everything. And JaKayla's like, okay, well then just tell me, like, why now? Why now? So JaKayla just wants to know the truth. She's like, well, babe, I lost contact with Jamie at one point, you know, and I think that Jamie even blocked me on social media for a time. Jamie didn't get to know, you know, the person that I am now. All she knows is the Brianna that was young and dumb and stupid and, you know, ran with guys and did all kinds of things, did all kinds of unnecessary things, and, you know, did the drugs and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to lie. I definitely did drugs, JaKayla. I did drugs, and I did a lot of other things, and I can tell you, I'm going to be open and I'm going to be honest with you. This is what happened. So Brianna just got through telling JaKayla the whole story that happened between her and when she, when she was younger and stuff like that. And JaKayla's just kind of really shocked. She doesn't know really what to say. She's like, "Wow, I didn't know that you went through all of that. That had to be a really scary time." So JaKayla's like, "Well, have you heard from my father, my biological father? Have you seen him or anything like that? Like, do you know where he lives?" Brianna's like, "Well, no, I don't know anything about him. All I know that he's probably somewhere around here selling drugs or doing something or abusing the next woman. I'm glad I, was able to get out of there." And JaKayla's like, "I'm so sorry that you went through all of that. And, I just really wish that you would have reached out to me and maybe we could have had a better relationship." And Brianna's like, "Well, babe, that's all I really want. I just want us to kind of, get to know one another and try to spend some time together, especially since, my grandbaby is in there." I think that eventually Brianna would have reached out to JaKayla, especially she just needed a little bit more time and a little bit more confidence, about the whole situation. And, I think it was about just finding the right time. And I think that JaKayla's pregnancy was kind of a blessing in disguise because honestly, I think that this will help JaKayla along, as far as motherhood goes. And, it's not going to be easy. And JaKayla, she still has a little bit of resentment deep down, thinking about the fact that her mom just kind of just up and left her. Like she feels like, maybe she wasn't good enough as, as a child, or, her mom didn't care about her, or her biological mom didn't care about her or anything like that. But so she'll have those thoughts in the back of her head, every time she interacts with her. It's going to be hard, but maybe on down the line, they can start to build a bridge to kind of get over that pain and then that sorrow, because ultimately I think they both are hurting deep down inside, and they both have that void that was always there. And yes, JaKayla had a good life, or JaKayla has a good life rather, but I think that JaKayla kind of is taking a lot of things for granted, especially, her mom sometimes. I think that JaKayla definitely takes her moms for granted for sometimes. So it's getting really late. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and really this place would be shut down by now, but they have been just talking all night and really just getting to know one another and, telling each other fun facts and all kinds of stuff. And JaKayla and her mom actually have a lot in common. They kind of think alike. They like the same foods. They like the same TV shows. And JaKayla's almost feels like she's kind of found a new friend. JaKayla can consider her long lost mother as her friend at this point. And that's that. Nothing more, nothing, nothing less. Well, it is daylight outside, y'all. Like, for real. It's daylight outside. They've been talking, like, for a long time. But the time is just going by so freaking fast in this game, and I just cannot keep up. But I'm going to have them to go ahead and exchange gifts for one another. So, friendly, give gift, give flower arrangement. Yes. So, let's give JaKayla this flower arrangement. And actually, JaKayla has flowers for Brianna as well. All right, so here we go. Aw, look at this. It's so cute. She's like, "Happy Mother's Day." And JaKayla's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I actually have the same thing that I want to give you. So let's go. Friendly, give gift." So here we go. She's like, "Oh my gosh, JaKayla, that is so sweet of you. You really did not have to. Oh my gosh, thank you. And I just cannot wait for this baby to get here. Like, I really love you. I really love you." I'm going to have them to go ahead and head out. I love the fact that they were able to talk it out. And I just really do think that this is going to change JaKayla's mindset. I think that developing a relationship with her mother is going to put a lot of things in perspective for JaKayla as far as her, her future.